most beautiful view that you've ever seen right here. It is gorgeous. You are in the most beautiful city of the Milky Way galaxy. Trust me on that one. But I do appreciate your mission and certainly your forward thinking. When I was chair of KEDT, South Texas Public Broadcasting, we were working in our long-distance learning initiatives and curriculums with school districts and schools around the region. And it has certainly proliferated just in the last 15 years. So I certainly thank you for your continuing education and finding other ways to expand upon your knowledge and delivery. So therefore, pursuant to the powers vested in me as the mayor of the city of Corpus Christi, I do hereby humbly proclaim April 1st through the 4th, 2014 as Texas Distance Learning Association Week.
So I'm here at the Texas DLA, and Carolyn Raines is videoing me right now. This is April 2nd, 2014, and the first session we attended was Transforming Learning Through Technology. And I think the main thing we got out of the session, and at least Carolyn agrees, was that software called Padlet.com. And one of the things I noticed is you could go right on walls, collaborate. Carolyn, what else did you see there that you liked?
Well, the collaboration was what interested me.
The collaboration. And I like the visuals that were up there. It just kind of drew me in, seeing a wall, a brick wall, and then all these other bubbles coming out. I love that kind of environment, as opposed to just a regular traditional linear text format. I like that, and so to me that was real good. And the other thing, of course, they were trying to get across, there was a question that was posed on the wall. What are the hang-ups that faculty might have? And a lot of them were training and just equipment, the network, just like we're experiencing here today. Sometimes the network will drop, we lose our connection, and it's frustrating for us. Well, it's got to be frustrating for the student. So that was the first one on Transforming Learning Through Technology with Carolyn Raines. Okay, in this video, I don't remember the title of it, but some of the things that I heard were like there was certain like obstacles, budgets, and there's always constraints, bandwidth. I was kind of shocked at in their area that people are still on maybe dial-up. I don't know about you, but that kind of jumped out at me.
Yes, definitely.
I did see a bullet that talked about continued faculty training and educating our faculty in the latest in the technology, which is a no-brainer. It's kind of pretty obvious, but I don't know. This was Houston Community College?
Yes.
But there's a little of everything, I guess. Obstacles, ways to overcome them. What else did you get out of it, Carolyn? I got to take a corner here.
Had, what they say, like 12,000 online students?
Oh, yes, and you brought up a point, like their advisors. They have advisors for online only. And then those who even take blended or hybrid classes, they have their other advisors and counselors. But you're absolutely right. You know, just for them alone, didn't even think about the idea of e-tutoring, where those individuals get advising online.
Yes, I was impressed with that.
And it was, again, I just saw a bunch of obstacles and things that need to be overcome with technologies, training requirements and such. But anyway, it's time to go eat.
Yes, the training is ongoing, lifelong.
And we're actually walking and talking and recording, and we're doing a wonderful job, right?
Yes, yes.
On behalf of Carolyn Raines, Miss Carolyn Raines, beautiful Miss Carolyn Raines, this is Amador Ramirez signing out till after we eat. It is a hot day in Corpus Christi, Texas. The humidity is, I believe, 122%. I'm not too sure if you can go that high or not. The barometric pressure is probably negative 17, whatever that means. We're in the midst of, we had lunch, we had a pretty good lunch, and so now we go to the Coastal Bend region of the Texas DLA, and we have our main man right here.
Well, Amador, thank you for coming to the 17th Annual Texas Distance Learning Association Conference. You know, it's great to be back in our region here in the Coastal Bend. Just to give you little highlights, we had about 44 people from our Coastal Bend come to this conference.
Cool.
Every year at the TXLA, there's a session always dealt with your regions. Today we're going to play a game of bingo. We're going to do some news, agenda, talk about some business we had in December, and a future keynote I'm going to have May 1st. It's going to be a virtual online for everyone in the region. Next year it's going to be back in Dallas, the 18th annual. Yesterday I was fortunate enough, I met a charter member of this association.
Ooh.
And when I met her yesterday, she said, I was the first parliamentarian. And I thanked her. I said, because of your idea 17 years ago,
wow,
the association has grown. So we had about 450 members here at this conference. We have about 500 in the association, 500, 600. But welcome back. I'm glad to be back. So.
Well, the first session I attended today was "Don't Let Your Distance Faculty Miss the Professional Development Boat," and I wanted to do this because since I've kind of taken over with the distance thing and all this stuff, so I want to get all the professional development, as much professional development out there for our faculty.
Yes.
And so I've been thinking about, okay, how can I implement it? How can I best get it out there for them? Right now I just email them via Blackboard and let them know when we've got different webinars available and so forth. But if they had a location on our website that they can go to and gather all that information, that's what I've been trying to do. And well, this session covered that, and it covered the process, and it covered how advertising, which was on the main page, put it out there, for everybody to know that these are webinars are upcoming, and spring training or whatever that we're going to be doing and offering. And another thing that I learned that we are going to be upgrading to Blackboard 9.1 Service Pack 13 in August. It's already in the works. I've dealt with Blackboard and we've got that going. Well, one of the good things about upgrading, and I didn't know this until I attended this session, we have our distance learning faculty get certified. We're trying to get our facilitators certified, and just all these certifications. At this point, what I do when our instructors get certified, I manually create their certificates. With the upgrade Service Pack 13 in Blackboard, they have a free building block called Achievements Building Block that will automatically create the certifications or the certificates or whatever it is that we set. But it's a building block that comes free with that service pack, so that's going to work. And then once the faculty member goes through the certification, boom, it generates their certificate, and they can print it out right then and there, and which I think would also work with our human resources, because they use the certificate courses that they need for
APL.
Yeah.
Perfect. So maybe we can make a landing page of resources where instead of always maybe spamming everyone, they have to go to our location to find
under distance learning faculty resources. But I've got to fit it in there because that page is getting a little bulky.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
But that was the first session I attended. The second session was Government is Driving Me Crazy, a commiserating therapy session. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, that one I was kind of called out of because I kept getting calls from the college, so I was missing.
You were called out by the government. No,
I was called out by phone calls from the college, so one I missed out a lot. But we have Ana Garza here who also attended that same session.
Let's talk to Ana. But you are absolutely right. We also have to take care of some of our duties here during the conference, and that's always a little bit, it's challenging. But hey, so Miss Ana Hensley Garza.
Well, that session that she's particularly talking about, it's about how the state keeps out with all these regulations, and then once we apply them, no sooner do we implement them, they change them again. So it's not consistent, and it kind of throws off a lot of the people, and then they want you to change this, implement this, they want you to implement that, yet they don't provide the funds for it. Yeah. So that's another block right there. So it's, how are we going to fix this? That's the $1 million question. That's what we're talking about on that session.
This was on proctoring, but it's about, I forgot what the title of the session was, about fish, but who's biting or whatever. There's a lot of fish. And the proctoring, so Yolanda, let me see.
Are we following the rules?
Are we following the rules and all that with proctoring and all that good stuff and face recognition and you name it? So it was Proctor U, there was Respondas Monitor, which is tied in with lockdown. So
which is something that we're looking into getting at this point.
There was Examity, which I kind of liked, and then there was Criterion, and then something else, and then you mentioned one other one.
Remote Proctor Now.
Remote Proctor Now. So the idea that each one kind of does just a little bit different on their features, and they do charge. You can charge the student or the school. Now the gentlemen from Tyler Junior College, they pay for it, if I'm correct. Some of the amounts were like the level that they're using. It was like $15 per test for each student, up to 60 minutes beyond that. I think it was like, $5 more or something like that. So we had that going. Pretty cool system, because obviously you're trying to identify that, is that the person, is that the student, examining who they say they are. So it was a pretty cool system, and the Tyler Junior College, Ken Craver was the one that talked about that. You have anything to add, Yolanda, that you saw from it? That was, aside from Respondas, monitors will be
that works in conjunction with the Respondas Lockdown Browser, something that we are trying to look into. They did also touch base on BioSig, the biometrics software
that
program.
Was the one with the keystrokes.
Yes.
It can identify your pattern. So, for example, I type 100 words a minute, and then Yolanda comes in and she's only typing 5 words a minute. They would probably say she's not as intelligent as I am, because the pattern all of a sudden changed.
No, it would say I'm not you.
That's right. It would not be biased, right?
Right.
It would just say that is not who you say you are.
Yes.
So this was pretty cool.
Yes.
Awesome. So the session I attended was the one on flipping out about video. It's dealing with the repository of videos. They're using the Kaltura system, which is basically kind of a database where you can put all your videos, and pretty cool system. Another speaker there spoke on EduTube, which I like to check out. EduTube, another kind of a repository. But for the most part, the idea that students want to be able to hook on and learn from a video production rather than necessarily a lot of text, and that's kind of the generation. It's kind of something we already know about and everything, but currently YouTube is real popular, but maybe I'll pursue looking at Kaltura and maybe EduTube just to create repositories of videos that our faculty can learn from, and also our students can learn from. So this is a kind of a two-way thing, faculty and student repositories for video production. Anyway, that was about flipping out about video.
Okay, the session I attended was over distance education and the SACS requirements. I need to learn more about SACS, and this was a good stepping stone. Getting on here and finding out how we go into write our reports that are needed for SACS, and then how to navigate through the SACS website, because it does have tons of information, and what specifically is required for distance education when it comes to SACS. And the things that the key fundamentals for SACS are core requirements, comprehensive standards, and federal requirements. So that was some things that we talked about. They said that with the distance education in SACS 4.8.1, which is something that we dealt with last fall semester, and 4.8.2. And then 4.8.3 are the three that are really specific to distance ed. And they said with 4.8.1, as long as we have a secure login and password, it satisfies the requirements for SACS. And then 4.8.2, the FERPA statement, general statement or disclaimer, they did say to add in, I know the shuttle's coming, we got to go. They did say to add in any of your statements that this is what we do, including our distance education students. 4.8.3, you find it in the catalog. Bye.
Okay, Yolanda didn't get to finish because the shuttle almost ran over her. So tell us a little bit about something that you didn't talk about with the SACS requirements and the DL.
Okay, well, we were talking about one of the biggest mistakes that institutions do is they are too They provide way too much info. They need to be short, specific, and to the point. There's a tool for writing your report. It's called Compliance Assist. It says that DE does not need a mission statement. It goes with the college's mission and expectations. However, we do need a policy in the policy manual that talks about intellectual property when it pertains to students. Because we do cover intellectual property when it comes to faculty, but not for students.
Email me all the information. Like
support services. Support services for DE students. We're not offering the same support services for DE as we are for regular students. And they said, such as a library card or a Cougar card. An online student has to go to the campus to get their Cougar card. That is not a good thing. They need to have the same where they can still get it, but be online, be at a distance.
Very
kind
good.
of like the driver's license. And the driver's license is issued, and they, send their card. So maybe we could look into doing something like that.
Uploading maybe their photos, that kind of stuff.
And then we just,
Yeah, no, but I still, because I got to get back.
SACS does not want to know what we will be doing in the future. SACS wants to know what we have done in the past and what we are doing now. So whenever they see we will in a report, it is like red flag, because it just shows them that we're not doing it, that we're saying we will do it. So whenever you write your reports, do not put will.
Gotcha.
This is what we have done or what we are doing, not what we will do. I learned a lot. It was really, really interesting, and the websites are, Oh, another thing they said, the best way to submit a documentation is in PDF format.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. PDF, that's it. And that was pretty much it.
Okay, so the session that we attended as well was about faculty development in the clouds. They had soft chalk. They were using Canvas, not Blackboard. And Yolanda thought that literally faculty would be floating in the clouds, but not on Cloud 9. And it has nothing to do with that. It's kind of a cyber cloud out there. So kind of a one-stop shop where you can put all the faculty resources. And we're currently trying to figure out the exact alias as to where we can maybe merge our IT and DL. And we've, of course, tossed around and not official on the TLC concept, but it is a learning center. It's a technology learning center. So pretty good resources there at that session. Okay, in this session, a lot of it is based on just fishing and casting them and reeling them in, cast them out. Efficient or effective student video conferencing. And so really they were using Collaborate, which we have an equivalent, Adobe Connect. One thing that I did, not so much because Collaborate brought it up, but I did maybe I need to pursue a little more on the phone conferencing, on the audio conferencing as a means of letting the students talk a little bit more than what I have them talking right now. But really it was just a way to deliver synchronously through a student video conferencing like Adobe Connect or Blackboard Collaborate, a means of communicating and sharing files and that kind of stuff. So I think I'm more doing what was discussed on the previous one, but except maybe adding some more audio feature to give the student a little more freedom than just having the chat window. Anyway, that was the session on efficient student video conferencing.
Okay, the session we just attended is what instructional designers want to know. We chose this session because I'm not an instructional designer, but I need to know what an instructional designer needs to know so that I can better support our faculty at Costa Bend College. So, one thing, what is the teacher? What is the teacher? That was one of the biggest things. The teacher is the creator, the course creator, the subject matter expert, the course facilitator, the socializing agent, the person in charge, and the person
who gives the grades.
One who gives the grades. Okay. They talked about what are the roles of an online instructor. They have the pedagogical role, plan instructional and support strategies, managerial role, respond, maintain roster, and the gradebook. The technical role, troubleshoot, social facilitate, collaborate, and lead discussions. The technical one, yes, the instructor's going to know their class better than anybody. Okay, so the instructor should be able to troubleshoot anything that they're having, or questions that the students might have, like where do I find this, how do I go here, where, and they'd be able to troubleshoot that immediately. They also talked about what are some of the best online teachers should do, and that's fostering student engagement, stimulating intellectual development, building rapport with the student, and then for instructors, what they need to know or what they need to ask Coastal Bend College, I guess, when they get hired or whatever, the key questions that they need to ask is, where do they go if they need to learn the LMS? Who do they contact if the LMS isn't working? Who do they talk to if students are not participating? If there's any campus resources available for making online classes more interesting, and if there's any instructional designers or anyone that they can reach out to if they need assistance to help them with course design or brainstorming. So this gave me a lot of input as to what I need to know so that I can better help my faculty for the help desk part, and for instructional design too. So, Carolyn, I don't know if you want to add.
Well, what I do to keep my students engaged is I put puzzles or something interesting on there, so they'll want to log on to say, let's see what Miss Raines has on there today. And it's usually something that's educational but fun.
All right, in this presentation, it was basically about soft chalk. And we're going to be hearing a lot about soft chalk. What was it?
Soft chalk cloud.
Soft chalk cloud. And what I got out of it is both for the LMS and the CMS. LMS, Blackboard. CMS is the Electron CMS. I foresee that if it's an easy and understandable program where we put our files in the cloud, I can kind of see that I could have faculty and staff and anybody who uses the LMS or maybe the CMS and maybe the LMS, all these MS things, I could see them using that, and then basically they just take the code and they put it into the LMS or the CMS. What do y'all think?
Oh, I've seen where the material that I'm talking more for faculty with their with their courses. Soft chalk allows the content to become interactive. Right now, when you create it in Blackboard, it's not interactive at all. But with soft chalk, it's interactive. It makes it interactive, and then it also you store it in the cloud. So because it's in the cloud, your content is in the cloud, and will be maintained in the cloud. It doesn't matter which computer you go to.
That's right.
Your content will always be there because it's in the cloud, which is web-based, online, and so no matter where you go, you'll always have your content to make your changes and upload it and put it into Blackboard and have your students with more interactivity in their courses.
And speaking of which, we're not sure where we are. No, we are. We're following Miss Carolyn Raines here. We're not in the cloud, but we're in a garage, kind of a Seinfeld episode. Okay, so I've been struggling with a cold for the most part all week. This one was on teaching the non-traditional student, and the presenters were nursing staff, nursing faculty, and they used every combination they could come up with. Of course, they gave a lot of stats on who's the traditional student and reasons why someone might need to take online classes. And of course, I think we've been preaching this message throughout. It isn't going to involve, and for years this has kind of been the same mentality, it's going to involve change. You got to be able to change your teaching style to accommodate the student if they're going to accomplish the goals that they have set before them. I did mention during the meeting about Adobe Connect. So oftentimes in the synchronous environment even, we can use Adobe Connect to teach, and it's a pretty good method. So hybrid, blended, Somebody mentioned IVC, interactive video conferencing, a number of things. It's a terminology and the lingo is different, but all in all, basically, it's really nothing that's new. They're just emphasizing that there's so many different ways in which to deliver the content, even if it's a hands-on application. So it was a good. It's motivated me a little bit, even outside the teaching environment in IT, where we can meet for meetings and things like that. So anyway, a fairly productive meeting considering my head is pounding and I got a cold. Anyway, all in all, I got one more meeting to go to, and it should wrap up the Texas DLA here in 2014 in Corpus Christi, Texas, on April 4th of 2014, as I mentioned. One more to go. All right, in this particular session, it was all about video, and the gentleman, and I knew him from somewhere. He had done the video presentation last week. Had some technical problems with Windows 8 during the session, but that was expected. But the idea here, just more video production, and something was revealed to me. I kind of want to do an IT moment of the week, that maybe every week, once a week, IT or whomever in the technology field can have an IT moment where they can kind of just share in 90 seconds or less, just a way to share with all our CBC and the world, really, the latest in technology. A lot of green screening was shown, a lot of some software was shared with us, so I'm looking forward to looking into that. So more video forthcoming here at Coastal Bend College. And again, here April 4th, 2014 at the Texas DLA, Distance Learning Association. Okay, this is the Texas DLA in Corpus Christi, Texas on April 1st, 2014.
It's Salvador's birthday. When? Today? Really?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Welcome to the Texas Distance Learning booth. We're going to play a game for a t-shirt. Let's go.
That's my volunteer thing.
Okay.
All right, now
You
try
gotta
to
make it in.
make it.
You gotta make it in.
And if I don't, I'm not getting my t-shirt.
You have to leave the premises. Oh, wow.
At TX Day, we're all winners, so you're gonna get a t-shirt.
Let me try it, because I think I could probably do better than she could.
Okay.
Yolanda missed. All right, so the objective is, you didn't throw it in right. Okay, so you got to get the exact balance right there. Right through there, right?
There's some science to this.
There is. It's all, oh!
Nice.
At least I did it. All right.
Come on, Anna.
The first one.
She's going to make it. Oh, wait. I was the closest. I was the closest.
We all didn't get all a t-shirt.
They're having a clown convention next door. You didn't tell her we were with them?
No,
Clown convention, I think. I could be wrong.
no.
Rodeo clowns,
She
I
didn't
think.
like when she was there.
Oh, okay.
on that either. She said she was a former teacher.
Oh, cool.
She wished that she had known.
Yeah.
Could have taught online.
Yeah.
Learning.
Really, man, I need some help, man.
What's going on, mister?
Good presentation.
Great, man.
Very good presentation.
Yeah, they just have to.
Yes, we want stuff now. How you doing, Carolyn?
How'd you get a ticket?
She was speeding. What I got out of it was the valid value of the valuable two ladies that just spoke. And I don't feel like I can add much more to the value that was expressed here. Such value given by valuable people is beyond value. This is a valuable advice that I'm giving all of you guys out there. So value life.
And take your cold medicine.